I'll start by welcoming everybody. I'm Sovin Ang, the co-founder and publisher of Khmer Post USA, a bi-weekly Cambodian newspaper based in Lowell, Massachusetts, serving the Northeast region of the United States. Today, I have three distinguished guests join the program. We are talking about the situation of Myanmar because of the recent visit of Prime Minister Hun Sen to Myanmar as chairman of the ASEAN. As we understand so far, it was not consensual by the regional state member in the ASEAN. And he visited at a time where the United Nations just rejected the membership application of military junta because the coup took place in February. So as we understand, this is a time, the most controversial point of conflict in Myanmar now on the brink of civil war as we see it from the outside. So today I have the most distinguished honor speaking with an ambassador to ASEAN, Mr. Bola Tint, who representing NUG, the National Unity Government of Republic of Union Myanmar. First of all, welcome, Mr. Bola Tint.
Thank you for allowing me to join this very crucial time and crucial, discussion. I appreciate that.
Ambassador, what is your reaction with Hun Sen's visit yesterday? As we know, he delivered aid to military junta.
The amount of aid is not significant. At the same time, our concern for his visit, there were no prior consultation with our government, National Unity Government of the Union of Myanmar. It is also undermining the current unanimous stand of the ASEAN members. Yes, last year under the chairmanship of the Brunei government. So that is not to recognize the attempted coup leader Min Aung Hlaing as a top leadership role in the ASEAN. Now Mr. Hun Sen is himself as the chairperson of the ASEAN visiting to Naypyidaw, and making deal with him is totally undermining the current unanimous position of the ASEAN. At the same time, without consultation, is not comply with the 5-point consensus, in that they are saying that there is a need to talk with every concerned party. So prior consultation is important to reach to resolving the crisis in Myanmar. Without, dealing with every party concerned, any effort doing by as a chairperson or as an association in the region will not achieve, we believe. So as of today, even though there was a so-called agreement between two dictators, still the heavy military offenses they continue on the ground. As of today, because of this reign of terror and military, offenses and crime against humanity, 1,445 people has been dead. 11,369 people were arrested. And all these, crime against humanity is still going on, especially targeting civilian population in towns using excessive military power. This is very unacceptable. And what we want to say, as you mentioned before, it is in the breach of the civil war. If the regional association and international community continue ignoring or undermining the situation in Burma and making real, practical, and effective preparation to be able to have result in our country, it will be very, very difficult time for Burmese people to see the light of democracy and human rights respect in the country. Thank you.
Hun Sen referred NUG as a shadow government, as an unofficial government, which is on contrary, we see that the international community, such as United Nations Security Council, still only recognize NUG, National Unity Government, as an official government. Can you explain the position inside of this conflict? The election, for example, in the national unity government that led to where you're standing today?
Yeah, if you look at the current history of Burma, in 2015, the National League for Democracy, led by the Hun Sen won landslide victory. But because under the 2008 constitution written by the military, only 75% able to handle by the elected civilian government. 25% is automatically controlled by the military, top to down, even in the legislative branch as well as administrative branch. 2020 again, the National League for Democracy, led by the Aung San Suu Kyi, or elected civilian government, won again, landslide victory. So ignoring the facts, military, attempted to make a coup, but it is failed up to now. When they didn't get the power, they're crazy. They launched a kind of reign of terror of, the very brutal crackdown against the Spain Revolution. It is, triggered by their attempted coup. So the NUG is the outcome or end result of these, brutal crackdown by the military against peaceful protests nationwide, led by the Generation Z, and the non-violent, the civil disobedient movement, led by all these government, servants, as well as all kind of, the democracy-loving people involved. So that the result now is NUG is only the most legitimate and most inclusive government of the Myanmar people, inclusive me, all these ethnic leaders, all these democracy and human rights advocates from the civil society, and other elected MP from the 2020 election, so that the NUG is only legitimate and the most inclusive government in the history of Myanmar. So that is why United Nations and international democratic societies welcoming NUG as a legal and legitimate representative of the Myanmar population in the country. Military is not legitimate one. That is why we are, since the beginning, we are telling the Mr. Hun Sen and ASEAN leadership not to work with the military dictators who has been wanted as a criminal by the international community because of the crime against humanity, as well as genocidal war crimes committed by his security forces since after the 2017 against the Rohingyas people. So that is what is really going on, and NUG government is trying to work with the ASEAN people, members nation, as well as leadership of ASEAN for to help resolve, but not to take the whole agenda as they like. So we want to be part of the ethnic, ASEAN community. We want to be part of the very contributed member of ASEAN. But if ASEAN is not keeping its principal stand and sided with the wrong side of the aisle, we will be very difficult to deal with them. At the same time, with or without the help of the regional society or regional association and international community, we strongly believe that this fight for freedoms and just fight for freedom of people will win. But we want the regional stability, regional, society and international community to side with the right side. So that is the only thing we are appealing for.
The result of this meeting, what Hun Sen called that he made an attempt to have the military on the ceasefire talk. Do you see that is a way of your government will be talking with the military on that?
In terms of nationwide ceasefire, there has been its agreement called the NCA, Nationwide Ceasefire Agreement. It was signed by the four parties: government, parliament, the army and ethnic arms organization, 4-party agreement. By the attempted coup, they get rid of the government and the parliament already. So from our point of view, the NCA or nationwide ceasefire agreements become a piece of paper, no more valid ceasefire agreement, because of military leaders themselves already, destroying the government and parliament, and they nullifying the 2020 election results as well. So that nationwide ceasefire by destroying the existence of the elected civilian government and the elected parliament. So it is saying nonsense. If we want to have a nationwide ceasefire, we need a very conducive atmosphere. ASEAN failed to call the unconditional release of all the political prisoners, including the elected the president Wu Win-myint and the state councilor the Aung San Suu Kyi. So without having equal ground to participate by all party concerned, that will be very difficult to reach the goal they mentioned. So second point is that, they want to have a kind of all-party dialogue process without creating or without helping to be able to create the conducive atmosphere or guarantee the freedom of expression and freedom of press and freedoms of individual democratically participating in the process. It will be difficult to get the result. At the same time, that is why all calling for international and ASEAN community not talking, but taking actions.
Well, finally, what do you think the kind of impact that Hun Sen made during his visit yesterday?
Well, from our point of view, it is kind of D2D relation, detector to detector relation. And mathematically, if you combine 0 plus 0, there will be only 0. This is very short answer for me.
Well, Ambassador Bola Tint, thank you very much for being with me today. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you success with your journey and your country.
Thank you for allowing me to speak up because of, we believe in the people of ASEAN, people of Cambodia. So this is a fight of the people in ASEAN, not only the Burmese, because the Burmese case is spreading as a regional stability threat and security risks as well. So we all people in ASEAN need to work together against all kind of dictatorship. Thank you.
Thank you.